In this video, Christian shows you how he created this epic samurai scene in Photoshop using stock photography and digital overpaint techniques. Be sure to stick with us to the end as we'll give you loads of tips for creating vibrant, realistic lighting and fire effects. Samurai artwork.
So hot right now.
Right, here we go. So, Christian, you did a samurai piece.
Yeah. I found it exciting to use the kind of stock that we have from Neo stock.
So you used one of the new A-Gen renders from Neo stock there?
Yeah, I did. The first time I saw it, I mean, a lot of ideas came through in my mind, so I didn't miss the chance to do it. So yeah.
That's really cool. So that's just a drag and drop figure there, already done, no compositing for the background. What was your idea for the concept for the kind of scenery where the majority of the work happens on this?
The first thing in my mind was, I think I'm having a vision of a samurai in on the center of the artwork, with a battle. With a scene of an aftermath after a battle or something like that.
Okay.
So like a feeling of victory or something that presents that he won the fight or something like that.
So that was your initial idea, that you wanted a victorious samurai standing in the battlefield.
Yeah, it was looking like that. I mean, you know, you can actually feel the expression from his face. So
Yep.
What a nice stock Neo stack have.
That's cool. In the stock photography game, we call that a power pose. So he's holding a power pose there. So I can see how you got that concept from the original pose of the character. So these background elements that you're using for this, they're from Adobe stock, and you're basically dicing up multiple background elements to create something new?
Oh yeah. What I'm doing here, I downloaded a lot of stocks from Adobe stock. I'm playing around with some, it's gonna be a trial and a lot of errors as well, as maybe you will see here in our video. I try to build a composite first and see what works best. Then after that, I'm gonna polish it.
Absolutely. And just to clarify, was this one a commission piece or was it a personal piece done for fun?
Actually, this one is exclusively for photo manipulation. I did this
lovely.
exclusively, yeah. So that to show as well the people that what Neo stack can offer in terms of quality and something that you can come up with using our stocks.
Excellent. And I saw that you jumped onto this one pretty much as soon as it came out, so you must have felt pretty inspired.
I was. The first time I saw this stock, I kind of feel like inspired.
So the techniques that you was using for cutting out these background elements, I saw the pen tool in action there, and I saw some auto selection tools being used. What's your reasoning for using those particular tools for cutting out these particular elements?
Oh yeah, sure. First off, the reason why I'm using this, pen tool is to customize, or you can actually select an object based from your preference. It's hard to use eraser, so I don't know how to explain it well, but pen tool is better, so you can actually choose the edges properly, so you could have a sharp one instead of using eraser.
Absolutely. You like the sharpness of the result the pen tool gives that other selection tools just can't really match yet,
Yes.
can they?
Yep, you're correct.
And your method for blending landscape elements is quite straightforward and simple. This is the kind of thing that the new guys watching this video today could pick up. So you have your element, your background element, say for instance these stairs. You add a layer mask, and then using a black soft edge brush, just tapering away the edges and blending it in. And that's Photoshop 101. That's the basics, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I intentionally did this very simple so that our viewers can watch it or see it, or maybe figure out how I do this very easy. Because you know, Photoshop can be it's a different process. It can be uh, very complicated, or you can just be straightforward to the concept. As you can see here, uh, I've been using layer mask.
Yep.
It really does the job. Once you put an image on top of an image, or an element, you can play around with it, like
I
the stairs.
noticed that you use hue saturation and color balance quite a lot as well.
Oh yeah, it's for my blending techniques. I use most of the time the hue saturation to for me to understand which color or value should I pick, and then play around with color balance.
Yeah, that's cool. And there's another thing that I noticed when you was working here
Mm-hmm.
is you took a brown tone and you painted over the top and you set that to soft light, and you use that method as opposed to using an adjustment layer or a color blend mode. Why did you use soft light to create those brown tones on the rocks as opposed to any other method?
Yeah, sure. Based from my experience, soft light does the blending kind of uh, type of effect.
Yep.
Unlike if you're using overlay, it's very strong and very
Too
aggressive.
strong. Yeah.
Yep, very aggressive. Unlike soft light, for me, it's kind of like it does the job of blending. Uh, I mean, for example, if you're gonna use the color effect, it's straight. It's very straightforward. I mean,
Yep.
it will make your element or the artwork the. If you choose blue, even when you paint it on top of it, it's gonna be blue directly. But if soft light, it's uh,
It
it does
interacts
the
and
job.
changes with the background pixels, and it
Yes,
has
yes,
a more delicate touch, but is still quite rich in tone.
that is true. Yes. So yeah, that's the reason why I use soft light most of the time for blending purposes.
You had a new layer, and I think it was set to normal, and then you painted some tones behind the figure. Is that to create some haze, or is that for a different reason?
Sorry for
Um,
what element?
on layer 16, I think you just painted on using the normal. I think that's set to normal, and then created some haze behind the guy in front of the steps.
Oh yeah. I noticed that. I notice that now. Yes. It's hard to explain this, but because it's one of the reason why you have to study the value
Yep.
of. Because once you understand the value and the color blend techniques, you can just play around with it with haze, with mist, or something like that. You have to match the environment. Once
Absolutely.
you
You don't want
once
it
you
to be
yeah.
too sharp, because your main figure is sharp. If everything is sharp, the eye
Mm-hmm.
can't focus on the important part of the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's part of the reason. Is that part of the reason? So you can make the eye focus on this main guy because he's the most important aspect of that image.
Yes, that is true. My goal here is despite of having an environment which very misty or very foggy, we
Yep.
need my main goal here is to focus on the character. Even we are having a lot of going on the scene.
I've
So
noticed that you've got your go-to brush settings there. You've got airbrush mode on. You've got a flow around 60%, and you've kept that in place for most of this work here.
yeah, I use it most of the time
They're
because
your
I think
settings that you like, aren't they?
that's the balance settings for me. It's all about preference only. There's a lot of ways of using Photoshop, but what matters most is your preference,
I
the way
really
you
like the
want.
way that you use the warp to twist those flames to go where you wanted them.
Oh yeah,
Do
one
you
of the.
use any other kind of alt or anything like that or do you just grab those points to transform those flames?
uh I just drag the warp effect only. I don't use any kind of techniques from top of it. I just drag it, whatever I feel is working. So yeah.
And can you explain a bit about this foreground arrow here? Why is this arrow blurry and why is it not sharp like the guy in the middle?
Oh yeah, sure. This one calls I call it a technique of cinematic effect. As you can see here,
Say that
as you,
again. What
it's,
effect?
I like I call it like a cinematic effect
Oh,
or
a
something like that.
cinematic effect. Yep.
Yes, so it kind of adds, you know, uh, another feeling of like you're kind of in a movie or something like that. A depth.
It's like the camera lens, isn't it? It's the depth of field. So
Yes.
this main guy here is where the camera is focused, and because this arrow isn't within the realm of focus, it's
Hmm.
blurry and it's like the illusion of depth of field, and that's what makes this piece look real.
Yes, you got it right. That's the main reason why we have this kind of depth from the arrow, so that so that the emphasize more is the character that we have here.
And you've got your chalky brush in action again. You like this one?
Oh yeah, for more
Your
cash.
same chalky brush from the girl in the field video, which we haven't released yet, but yeah, I recognise that. Why did you use a chalky brush for the highlights on that kind of temple thing?
Oh yeah, the reason why I use that is if I use a soft one or a generic one, it doesn't have the feeling of it gives a lot of texture, so it feels more alive for me rather than using a generic one. It feels like uh, not natural. So I use a chalky one so that it feels like it gives a lot of texture,
Yeah, because that
especially.
surface itself is textured, so the light would
That's correct.
catch on the textured elements. Are you using a standard brush for the rim lighting on this guy? Because this is what
Yeah.
you're absolutely best at. I
Oh
can't do
yeah.
any of this.
Yeah, I use most of the time the soft brush for edge, or for the, what do you call it, edge
Rim light.
lighting. Yeah, rim light. Yeah, because I mean the soft brushes is it's not too sharp.
Yep.
So especially if you're having a light or something, it has to be soft, or it has to be blurry or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's looking good. And it did take you long to get that stylized illustration look around the outer rim of your character, especially the hair. So you
Mhm.
make it look so easy. I've tried that. It's not that easy.
Yeah, it's kind of I've studied it for a long time, so even up to now I'm still learning.
Yep.
I can't say that I'm the master of it, but it's fun. Once you figure it out, you can apply it to every aspect, to every genre or every artworks that you want,
And
especially.
it's a very popular style as well. Exaggerated rim lights is arguably the most popular style in the Photoshop world right now, 100%.
Yeah, it is one of the most popular in the industry.
That's cool. It was clever how you took that one building burning stock image and then put that over. Did you use screen for that, or color dodge, or any kind of what layer blend mode did you use for that burning building?
For the burning building, I use most of the time the screen one.
Yep.
So because if I use color dodge, it's kind of bit of aggressive one, or it's
Yeah.
very
A bit
uh,
too harsh.
a bit, yeah, that's correct. So sometimes I use color dodge if it's a case to case basis. Sometimes you just have to play around with screen and color dodge and pick what works best.
Excellent. The chalky brush that you use for the edges of these buildings, is that a built-in Photoshop brush, or did you grab that from a website or anything?
Oh, yeah, this one was from a website called DeviantArt, but I
Ah,
don't.
okay.
Yep,
Do you remember? I'm sure I've asked you before.
that was a long time ago. I downloaded. I had this Photoshop since, 5 years ago or 6 years ago. That's the time where I downloaded all this kind of stuff. So I
Okay.
don't know if I still have the record of it, but maybe I could try.
I've got a tip for the guys watching. Guys, if you do want that brush and we can't find it and put it in the description, pause the video when the brush panel comes up and Google the name of the brush, and I'm pretty certain you'll find it instantly. So that's what you can do to find it, because I'm going to need that chalky brush as well. I want to Have a go.
But, yeah, it's kind of fun because it has this kind of texture that the kind of painting feel.
Yeah, it's very effective.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting some burning details here for the background elements. And you can be a little bit more rough with those background elements because they would tend to be in the background a bit more blurry because of all the heat vapor and the haze. They are not going to be as sharp as this central figure here.
Yeah, that's correct. So this one
Aerial
is
perspective, it's called. Clinton told me that's the technical term for when things get blurry and less saturated as they go further back in the background.
yeah, that's
Aerial perspective.
more like a depth of field kind of
Yeah,
effect.
even I'm learning with this channel. That's cool. So you've repeated that that arrow element. That's very effective. Works really well. Whoa, what happened there? You did something there. A tonal action. What is this tonal action?
This one, I downloaded this a long time ago. It's kind of, I mean, this one is for sale. It's called a Nick collection. Nick collection. Maybe we could just add this to our description.
Okay, we've already got the links for Nick Collection in our descriptions by default, but I don't know what that tonal thing is. Was it a preset that you made yourself?
Yeah, that's a preset that I made for myself. Actually, you can customize it. Once you have this collection from Nick, you can actually play around with it. I mean, the tonal contrast preset is something that makes your artwork more like.
Because that was an instant one click. It just went pow and just like whoa!
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, it corrects all the contrast that you have. It makes
what? I'd really like your preset for that because that looks really good.
Oh yeah, you must have it. I mean, you could try.
I do have the Nick collection, and I do some. There's a function that I use quite often called Pro Contrast, which is a nicer contrast editor. Because we all use Nick collection so much, I've permanently got it in the description, guys. If you want Nick collection, I've added a link to it in the description already. It's there, ready to go. But yeah, your process looks really good.
Thank you, man.
We got some other guys getting involved here. What's going on?
To add more feeling, to add more drama on it.
Okay.
So you're not gonna win a war alone.
No.
You need some backup or a team. So what I thought is, having some friend on his back, maybe will add more feeling on it.
So these other characters are actually the other shots using this same model, but because they're in the background and they got masks on, you just think, they're other samurais.
Yeah. So what I had to do is I lowered their value so that it won't be noticeable that it was the same person.
Yep. And when you say lower the values, what does that mean?
Lower the value means you're gonna have to adjust if it's if you want it to be more defined or you want it to be more noticeable. If you can see here, I used level.
Yep.
So I mean, it gave me the feeling of what do you call this? It's hard to explain, but I mean the
tones of the midtones and the blacks, because that guy there, he looks really kind of cinematic and dramatic.
Yeah,
and you did the edge light, you did the rim lighting as well, so the light was coming down and catching on that guy, making him look real.
Yeah, to blend it more nicely.
And the same here, it's really effective. And I could see what you did with the levels. I understand what you were saying.
Yeah,
that you use the levels to kind of pull back the majority of the pixel data, creating like a silhouette.
Yeah, you got it right. Sorry. So
it's all good, man. I knew exactly what you was talking about, and I'm sure the guys at home knew exactly what you was talking about.
Yeah,
but it's so cool seeing your workflow like this. And I like it that you're into levels as well. Levels get a bad rap, but they're fast, they're easy.
That's correct. Level does most of my jobs. especially for blending. You must try it, guys. You must play around with levels. It's kind of fun. It's easier for me, actually.
It's easier for me as well. All the cool kids will say curves are better in every way. They probably are, but you know, I like working fast. I like working with what I understand, and I never quite could understand curves. But you can't argue with the results. Look at this piece. You know, it's really, really good. And these atmospherics. So there, you did use overlay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, that was great. If you enjoyed this chat with Christian, be sure to check out the next video coming up here, where he explains his journey to become a pro book cover artist. That's it for this one. Catch you in the next video. See you then.